There it is. All right, I think we're recording. We are. All right, so this is the January 12th, 2017 Emerald call with Team Fit and Free. And we are going to go over a few things tonight that were brought up in our feed. And again, you get to come to this call because you were a paid Emerald coach at least 1 week last month. So way to go. And I know you three that are on the call have not lost that rank. So there's something to be said there as well. Sometimes it's not easy because it's out of our control when it comes to rank. People delay their Shakeology or whatever the case may be, and one inactive mess can screw up your rank real quick. But the three of you have nailed it. You've gotten yourselves cushions, and you should be applauded. So here we go. All right. So the first thing that was asked was about rank. You guys know how to get to Emerald. You need at least 50 personal volume. It can be anything that you sell personally to a customer, not coaches. And it also can be anything that you buy personally. So when you enroll a coach with a challenge pack, you're going to get points, but you're not going to get personal volume because personal volume goes to them because they're the coach now. So that doesn't help, which, we've been over this before, but that doesn't really help your PV when it comes to being active. So keep that in mind. And as an Emerald coach, you need one coach on each leg, PS coach. Ruby coach, which you most likely will bypass, unless you're like my husband who keeps going down from Diamond to Ruby because he doesn't have the PS coaches, but he has the Emeralds locked in, thanks to Sherry and Debbie and Mia and Lauren. So we have problems holding his PS coaches in place. So he's a Ruby coach currently. He has to have a minimum of 75 personal volume and at least one Emerald coach on each leg, and then any amount of PS coaches at all. So why we bypass Ruby is because the hard part is usually getting those Emeralds in place. So by the time you get to Diamond rank, you've bypassed Ruby. You go from Emerald to Diamond 9 times out of 10. It's actually harder to be a Ruby coach because you can control how many coaches you sign up, right? But you can't control your Emeralds and how many coaches they sign up. So that's why it's harder to be a Ruby coach, unless you're my husband. Okay, so a Diamond coach, I don't know if you guys have researched this. You probably have, but it's a little bit more personal volume. But again, you are, probably drinking Shakeology anyway, which is 90. And you're at least selling one challenge pack a month, which is that much PV again. So then you're at 180. So you're good for the whole month. And that's even if you just sell one a month.
Wow.
So you need 4 personal coaches on each leg, and 2 of them have to be Emerald. So 8 coaches total, 4 and 4, and 1 on each leg have to be an Emerald coach, which they obviously need 1 coach on each leg to be Emerald. So you're all working towards that. You're all, adding people to your team. The key is you want to try to add, my personal goal will be different than yours, but you want to have a personal goal for yourself that you're going to add a certain amount of coaches every month to your team, whether that is 1, whether that is 10, whatever the case may be. And that for every 10 coaches, you're probably going to get one person like yourself in that 1% that wants to build a business and help your family financially as well as be consistent in the business. So that's a bad sort of ratio, right? When you think about it, it's kind of depressing, but that's the numbers. So the more people you recruit and the more quality people you recruit, obviously the faster you're going to rank advance. So are there any questions about that first slide before I go to the next one?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. So we talked about placement a little bit, and each coach is different. So our strong leg and our weak leg, my strong and my weak are different than yours. They could be the same because we only have 2. But at the same time, most likely they're not the same. So to find out your weak leg and your strong leg, the easiest thing that I tell my coaches to do is log into your online office. And this is a way to duplicate as well. So when you have a coach who's like, what's my strong leg? What's my weak leg? You can go in your online office and you can figure it out for them. But I don't like doing that because then I'm telling them where to put their spouse or their family member. And if I'm wrong, guess what? It's my fault. So I would rather them see it for themselves, go in their online office, go to my business, my downline, graphical genealogy. And on whatever side they have people that they don't know or that they haven't signed up, that's their strong leg every single time. So when they're looking at the screen, if those people are on the right side of the screen, that's their right leg. Left side, their left leg. This is super basic information, but that's the way that you can just tell your team, go find your strong and your weak leg. It'll never change for your entire business. And don't forget which is which. Of course, you want to put your family member or your spouse or someone that you trust that you may be building their business for them on your weak leg. Why is that? Because I can control the volume that way. So my strong leg, Betsy, when she signs up a coach, because she's my coach, she has two legs just like me. But if she decides to put them on her left leg, it's going to trickle down into my strong leg. So a lot of people on our team are on my strong leg. So their volume, what they sell, what their coaches and their coaches and their coaches are doing are helping my strong leg volume grow. And at this point, my weak leg is still weaker than my strong leg, which is the normal. But I'm getting it closer to equal, which means I can cycle bonus more, which is a whole nother call. But I'll quickly just go into when you have your strong leg and your weak leg, and do you know how to look at that, your volume? If you go to my business, my volume, click on it, it'll tell you what it is. I check that every single day. That's like the Bible to me. Because I want to know how many cycles I'm going to get on next week. That's how much I'm going to get paid. You can sort of gauge what it's going to be as far as cycle bonus goes. So for every time, the bigger number, regardless, it can be your weak leg, it can be your strong leg, it doesn't matter. When you look at the numbers, whatever is the bigger number, for every time that 200 can go into the smaller number, 100, it's one cycle. So I'm really bad at math, but let's just say it's 2,000 to 1,000. So for every time that 2,000, what $200 can go in and equal one. So 2 and the 1, that's one cycle. Another 2 and another 1, that's 2 cycles, and so on until you get to 0 or until you can't take another 100 out of that smaller bank. So of course, that's why you want them to be more level and more equal. You can cycle more. So again, that's like a whole nother call. I'm still learning about it, to be honest with you. There's a lot to it and there's a lot of money to be made, but you just have to do your placement right, which is getting your weak leg as strong as your strong leg.
Stacey,
Yeah.
I'm still a little bit confused about how do people above us place coaches on our strong leg? How do they get there? And I'm not following why it's advantageous to put your spouse on your weak leg.
Okay, so your first question, why do they appear there? Because Betsy has 2 legs just like I do. And when she doesn't put them on her strong leg, because I'm on her weak leg, when she doesn't put them on her strong leg, they're going on her weak leg, which they have to be somewhere. And they're going under me, way down.
Okay.
Okay, so it just depends what leg she picks. If she picks her strong leg, I don't see those people. If she picks her weak, they're under there.
Okay.
And then whatever her coach is, Jessica's 1. Okay, so Jessica's under there for volume. So any coaches Jessica signs up or whatever, again, I'm going to see them because they're on Betsy's weak leg like I am.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, and then the other question you said, why should we put our spouse or our family member on our weak leg? Because we can put challenge pack sales. We can do anything that's not for our own personal volume to keep us active. We can run it through their business center and sort of double dip. So for Sean, way back when we were new coaches and I opened up his business center, I still ran a lot of retail through my first because I didn't know what to do really. But then I was like, okay, if I put him through him, he's going to get the volume and it's going to boost my weak leg volume. It's not my PV, but it's going to still boost my team volume so I can cycle more because my weak leg is getting as strong as my strong leg. Okay. Then this is mind blowing. Then you get to 2-star and you open up a second business center, which means I signed myself up as my personal coach. Yeah, a little mind blowing, right? You're like, okay, what? So that person, that's me. It's still my social security number. It's still me. But Beachbody lets you open several business centers per coach ID every time you hit 2-star. So every time my second CBC hits 2-star, I'm opening another business center.
Got it.
And that can go on for 15 times. So that's 2-star bonuses, 5-star bonuses, and so on 15 times. Okay, so my weak leg though, my second business center though is under my weak leg as well. So now I run nothing through my first business center.
Okay.
Now I'm putting everything through my second, it's trickling to Sean and it's trickling to my first business center. So that volume is helping me 3 times instead of 1. Okay, so I hope that kind of makes, you understand weak versus strong. But when you look at your volume, when you see it side by side, you want them to sort of be even. It might take, I'm at almost 3 years and I'm still $500, $600, $700 less than my strong leg, which is good. That's not bad. But it's still, you want your weak leg to be as strong as your strong leg. Because your strong leg's always growing. There's so many more people on your strong leg than your weak leg because you're building your weak yourself. Okay, so does that answer all those questions about weak and strong legs? And does anyone have any other questions?
Good.
All right. So placement questions. Oh, those are, do you have any questions? Speak now or forever hold your peace, but I'm just kidding. You could ask later if you think of something because you kind of already asked. But
when do I make Dave? When do I put coaches under Dave? Once I get a coach on my right leg that gets to Emerald?
Dave will probably be your first Emerald coach under you.
Okay.
So right now, let's just say for the sake of doing more math, let's just say you have 4 coaches. You have 2 and 2. Mm-hmm. On your weak leg, you have your husband and another person, and on your strong leg, you have 2 other people. So you have 2 and 2. Now, let's say you sign up some more people, and now you have 4 and 4. Or maybe you have 5 and 4, okay, or whatever. You're going to want to make your spouse, you're going to want to give them 2 coaches. Give him 2 coaches, okay? So you would just
wait until you have at least 4 on each side?
Yeah, and I would even say get yourself a little cushion, maybe 5 and 5, because you don't want to just have 4 and then have your 2 emeralds and you're constantly hoping that these people will stay active, because that's like, a hamster wheel and it's exhausting. If you can build your husband's business and give him 2 and then have 1 person at least on your strong leg that is building the business and they can get 2 on their own, then you're good.
Okay.
But I would wait until you have at least maybe 5 and 5, or if the people are going to stick around, then you could make that decision to give him 2 people. But Sean was my first Emerald coach because I gave him 2, and he helped me become Diamond. He was my first he was my first Diamond, so then I was Star Diamond. And now he doesn't help me anymore, so with rank or anything. Okay, so I'm going to go on. There's one more slide, and then we can do question and answer, any other topics you guys can think of. So objections. We could probably sit on this one all night long. I did bump some posts in the team page because there's some scripts and there's some old team calls that we won't beat a dead horse, but we all get objections. Top coaches get them. They'll tell you that. And if you're not getting objections, then you are not inviting and you're not really working this business for income. Don't take them to heart. I got a message today from someone, and it was a mutual friend of someone within another direct sales company. And I had asked her, I was like, do you know this person personally? Because she sent me a really nasty voice message. And she's like, no, I don't know her personally. So we're all going to get nasty, nasty people because they're just in bad moods and they're taking it out on you. And it's no different than when you get an objection. Somebody could have, holding their kid's hair because they're throwing up, and you're like, hey girl, just wanted to check in again. And they're like, are you kidding me right now? I would strangle you if you were in person right now. So you cannot be there. You're not the problem. They're dealing with other things. They may have just realized how much money they spent for Christmas, and they are like, oh, my husband's going to kill me, or whatever the case may be. And they just are not, they're just not there yet. So you can overcome objections. My best weapon is to tell them what's worked for me, because they can't argue with that. And remind them why they came to you in the first place. Because 9 times out of 10, people reach out to me. I do invite, don't get me wrong. I mean, there's days I send 50 or 60 emails / Facebook messages or texts altogether. But, I mean, most of the time, the post, somebody will see a post and they'll say, okay, let me know what you're doing or what is this, and I'll explain. So then they'll say, well, I went to the doctors and I need to lose weight, or I tried on an outfit from last winter and I can't fit in it, or whatever, whatever the case may be. And you just remind them again when you're following up, or when they give you that objection. Hey, listen, your wedding's coming up. I was married 15 years ago. I specifically remember wanting to feel my best on my wedding day. I want to help you feel that way. I want, when you look in the mirror on your wedding day, I want you to know that you did everything you could, and I want to help you do that. Something like that. That's going to make them be like, you know what? This is worth $200. She's going to help me do this thing. Because it's not really the money, because most people have the money to spend. They just are careful, of course, which we all are, but they want to spend it on other things, or they don't believe truthfully that it's worth it. So we have to instill the belief in them, but without trying to talk them into it, or make them think that this is what they have to do. You want them to say, this is what I want to do. And then just know that it'll get easier. Anytime I have an objection, it's like I've heard it before, and I'll give them the voice message that I give every other person with that objection. So just take note of your most common objections, script some things out. The best thing is voice texting. I know it's intimidating because you can't re-record it, but I have learned that if you really goof up or say something wrong or offensive even, you can let it go all the way to a minute and then let your finger off the button and it will erase it. So I just found that out recently because I went over the minute and I was like, darn it. But that's a good thing to know. Now we can erase it if need be. But just know it'll get easier with time. You're going to get every objection all the time. Don't take it personally. And everybody gets them. So that's all that I have specifically about those topics. Does anybody else have any questions, or have I made you think of anything more? Hey, Kristen, I didn't see you on my screen. Anything else you guys can think of that would be helpful to talk about tonight? No? It's okay.
We're all like,
I know. That's a good thing, I guess.
Yeah.
But if you guys think of anything, let me know. And hopefully the call was helpful. And I know a lot of it's repetitive, but it's something that is...
Well, so much of this is repetitive.
Yeah.
Truly, that's the one thing that when I first started, I was so overwhelmed with everything, and my head still spins when I talk about left leg and right leg and weak leg and strong leg and all that, because it's like someone's talking Cantonese to me. Like it's just completely just, and I'm pretty smart. I feel like I should be able to understand it, but I just, I mean, it's clear for a moment, but to try to verbally explain it to somebody else, I'm not there yet. Like I feel like if I try to talk, like my sister is just starting to build a business. Like she's just starting to get into it. So I'm trying to explain to her. I'm like, just trust me for just this minute.
Exactly.
And like, look here and do this. And so, but I just wanted to, when you were talking about objections, I had not even an objection, but I was taken back by it. And I have the trouble with my face. You can kind of read what I'm feeling. I had someone that I had been talking to for months, and I gave her samples of Shakeology. We talked to at work and, whatever, blah, blah, blah. She finally decided to buy a challenge pack for me. And then, we're getting ready for Health Fed. I'm messaging her and I'm not hearing from her. And then I see her at work. She's like, oh yeah, I signed up with a different coach.
Oh,
I'm like, are you kidding me?
God.
I'm like, months. But I think, can you go back and look to see, because she's not listed as a customer anymore. So, but I think I still got her. I think she still bought it through me, but then for Health Vet, she switched to a different coach. Like I think I still got her volume.
Yes, with that, as long as the person stays with you for 30 days,
okay,
you're going to get the commission, the Success Club points, and all that.
Okay,
but if
then
they
maybe I did it. Maybe they'll take that back then.
Right. So what do you know when she ordered or no? Was it just
it was right around Christmas. It was right around Christmas.
So they probably will adjust that stuff then, which really stinks. And honestly, in a case like that, I've had that happen several times, and I'm real with the person. I'm from New York. Like I'm like, listen, you have the right to pick any coach you want. And I'm glad that you found a coach that you feel comfortable with, but I want you to understand how this works. I felt like I was your support.
Right.
I feel like the reason why you chose to go this route was because of me, and it just hurts. It hurts me that you decided differently. Something
went to
like
somebody else.
But and it doesn't even have to be like too long, or I just think people need to realize like how this works, because some people they don't get it, and some people do and don't care.
Right.
So I guess it depends on the type of person. If you want to say anything or just want to let it go, it's totally up to you.
Yeah.
But if I've given Shakeology samples, they bought something and then, or they take, and then they end up returning it all, I'm like, listen, what's the deal? Like, I'm a New Yorker. I mean, I hope nicely, but at the same time, I'm like, this is a business. This is how I put, gas in my car, and I make my car payment, and I help with my house payment. This is my job.
Right.
And it's no different than if you're asked to do something for free, like, well, why do I have to pay that? Why can't I just come in your group? Well, would you go to your job and not expect a paycheck biweekly? I don't think so. It's the same exact thing. So I think we need to educate people, like, in a nice way, that this is a business just like you are clocking in and out. And I know working with the person, you might not want to go there. And
I'm just leaving it go. But just because it would just be weird at work. But I was just kind of like, are you kidding me? Like,
right. And she might be back. She might come back because their coach lets her down.
Yeah.
And then if that happens, I might say something. Just to let her listen.
Because she was like, oh, I love because she was like staying in my group. Like, I have a group message going with all my health betters. And like, she's like, I love your blog and everything you post, and you're so inspirational. And she's going on and on and on. She's like, nothing you did. And I'm like,
so did she ever tell you why she decided to go with a different coach?
It was just a neighbor, like a friend, like someone that was closer personally to her than I was, which, I mean, I get it, but I was just like, well, then why did you approach me, and why did you ask me all these questions?
Go get a scoop of her Shakeology. Can you put some Shakeology in my cup, please?
No. But anyway, I mean, that was just that happened recently. And then actually I had another one who I got from like the customer referrals.
Leads.
Leads, thank
Mhm.
you, leads. And like the first line of her email response to me, I will not drink Shakeology ever. And she's ordered it like 3 months ago. Because I was like, well, you're telling me you're doing all these things and it hasn't been working, but these are what your goals are. So let's, I was able to kind of turn that back around, which was kind of funny. I felt a little personal victory with that one. She
Yes.
like, oh, I ain't going there. And I'm
So
anyway, sorry.
really quickly with leads, have you all been getting them? No. Have you,
Yeah.
Kristen? Kristen's frozen. Debbie, do you get leads?
No.
Okay, so this is what you guys need to do ASAP. Because you are, Kristen, now you're not frozen. You don't get leads either? Okay. You go into your online office and let me see how you do it. I can't remember. Go to My Business, My Qualifications. My Business, My Qualifications, My Lead Program Qualifications. It's right in the middle. Click on it.
Yeah, I know where it is. I can't right now. I'm not with.
That's okay.
I'm on the phone to do.
No, you don't have to do it right now. This is just for later. And I can put the steps in the comments as well once I post this, but you want to make sure that everything says yes. The only thing that can say no is Coach Connection. Coach Connection can say no. So everything else has to say yes. If something says no, you're not going to get leads. And that is leaving money on the table. Now, I would say 9 out of 10 of my leads never respond to me. But
They don't. It's like crickets.
What?
I said it's like total crickets. Like
It
you
is.
try to reach out and I'm like.
So Beachbody sends, if you hit Success Club 10 minimum, you get Shakeology leads. So let's say someone Googles the word Shakeology, they click on Beachbody or whatever, the Shakeology website, and they put an order in, whether it's home direct or not, and they say send order. If I'm next in the cyber cloud to get a Shakeology lead, that person comes to me. Now, I do not get volume or commission on that first order. However, if they are on home direct, I'm going to get commission next month and volume. Okay? And that's somebody I didn't find or go to. That's free money. That's a free person. So make sure you get these leads. If you hit Success Club 5 at least, you're going to get free or club account leads. So if somebody Googles on demand, Beachbody on demand, and they don't have a coach, they're going to put their name in. If I'm next in the cyber cloud, I'm getting those people. So I always search for their name on Facebook. If I can't find them, I send them an email. It's really simple. Introducing myself, like it's seriously this long, it's super short because I don't want them to be like, oh, she's giving me, word vomiting on me because I just don't have time for this. So it's super short. 9 times out of 10, they don't get a hold of me, but sometimes they do. And I've gotten a few where they sign up for Shakeology and then like 2 days later, they're like, oh, I'm going to get a discount. And they sign up to be a discount coach. That's happened. Now they're gone. They've never spoken to me, but I mean, they got Shakeology as a coach for a few months. So the other thing that I wanted to tell you was leads. And then Shannon, what was the other thing you were saying? We were talking about. Oh boy.
Uh-oh.
Mommy mush brain.
I said lead volume.
No. I'll remember it after we hang up. It's okay. Just make sure that you go to My Business, My Qualification, My Lead Qualification as soon as possible and get all those things to say yes. It's as simple as your before and after pictures are on your website. It's as simple as a little bio, those types of things. And if you're hitting Success Club, you're doing the hard part. So make sure you get the easy part done, which is your website.
Yeah, I've gotten a couple of like spammy ones that are not real. And
usually your first one ever, it's going to be Beachbody, like sending you one to see what your response will be. And then they'll give you coaching on what it should and shouldn't say. I don't know if you got that, Shannon, or not.
I didn't. Because I actually pull their email address and then I use a separate Gmail account because the Beachbody, I wasn't getting any responses, so I thought something was wrong. And then a couple people said that it's real spammy. So,
Wow.
so I just created a separate Gmail account. So I dump everybody in there. And then I actually started sending out a monthly email, like
Mhm.
just, hey, this is what's happening. And I've had some people, it helps rejuvenate people that have, fallen off
Right.
and they come back or, whatever. So
Yep.
it doesn't take that much time. I was trying to get real fancy with it and I was spending too much time trying to be fancy. So I just said,
Yeah.
I'm just going to send an email. Not be fancy for now.
You created an entirely different email?
Because my home email was completely, is completely overwhelmed with everything. So I just created a Gmail account. It's shannon.eddyberg
Oh, okay.
coach@gmail.com. Like, just because
Gotcha.
a few things that I've read and seen, they said that the Beachbody, the at
It was
Beachbody
okay.
account is very spammy. So that it, like,
Right.
when you send an email, it'll just go into their spam folder or their, undeliverable kind of thing. So,
Yeah.
Right.
That might be why we don't
got
get
it.
a lot of
Cool.
replies.
Okay.
so.
Okay. Well, I can't remember what the last thing was, but
You'll
I'll
think of
go
it later.
re-listen to this and I'll be like, that's what it was. But it's okay. All right, ladies, anything else? Or I don't want to keep you. We've already been, I like to keep them 30 minutes just because it's quick and,
Oh,
It's over.
yeah, I'm good. I'm glad I got on tonight. I thought my grandchildren were going to be here. That's the past couple times I've missed because I've been having them so late at night on Thursdays now.
Aw, you're such a good grandma.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, ladies.
So,
Well, thank you for
Thank you.
taking the time and we will talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye,
thank
guys.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Have a good night.